And especially to this guy. We've got some history too, and I'm not gonna tell you. But it's basketball. And I don't know if we wanna go there again.
Beat me every time.
He said I beat him every time. So, Independence County Area Sports Hall of Fame, class of 2022 inductee, presented to Arlonzo Childress.
First, I want to thank the Independence County Area Hall of Fame. Thank you so much for this honor. One of the things that I want to mention in a little bit detail about that story, about that slow story. So here's the detail about this story. So it's two-a-day practice. It's hot. You know, the grass, they would always cut the grass and we'll have practice so you have grass. But the good thing, you had that morning dew on you. So I'm stretching and Coach Treadway comes by. Hey, where you from? I said, I'm from Little Rock, sir. Man, why did they send us the slowest player? I said, Coach, I'll get faster. But that's where that story came from. And then to add a little bit to the story what Coach James was saying, I think that time at Mountain Home, you know, with everyone, you always have to give credit to the other people that made that possible, like the offensive line and all those individuals that set that up for us. So that was a great experience for me as well. But as I look over the crowd, you know, I look and see there was a lot of individuals here that have made a lasting impression in my life. You know, God had a different plan. I had already had things planned out. I said, well, you know, we're getting these calls from these NFL places, and they calling back to your high school coach. I said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and go to this NFL, and I get to retire by the time I'm 35. And just, man, I had it all planned out. But God had a different plan. And thank God for his mercy and his grace, you know, because without that, you know, there's no telling where you would be. And I thank God that you had the opportunity to not only instill the importance of education and teamwork and everything that helped me carry on to when things didn't go the way that I wanted and had it planned, that I was able to fall back on something that was even more valuable, which I continue to do today to try to be a positive role model in, you know, in society, to give back to the community and different things. So that's a very important thing for me. My wife is not in here with us. She's battling a little sickness, but I do have my great supporting cast. But as I mentioned to you before, when I look over, you know, Arthur Montgomery and the different individuals that helped me when I moved here to be the person that I am, you know, and I can think of all kind of memories from everyone here. And Batesville will always have a place in my heart. And I was telling Coach, it was like, man, I got to try to get back more to give back, because this is what helped me get where I'm at now. And I want to thank you all so much, you know, because I couldn't be this person without you all. I couldn't, nothing. And then with the grace of God. So I want to thank you all so much for that. Thank you, Coach James. Thank you, Coach Smith, for Tripway. You know, those individuals have been a blessing and encouragement for me. And so I really do appreciate that. That's all I have. And thank you all again. And y'all be blessed.
Congratulations again, Arlonzo. Next on the agenda, I'd like to ask my longtime buddy and voice of the Batesville Pioneers, Mr. Mark Lambert, come up and do the presentation for Mr. Bill Luster.
Thanks, Stuart. He is like a brother to me. If anybody besides myself and Diane could raise my kids, it'd be this man right here. Coach Branscombe, I remember Matt Harmon and Jason Harmon, the late Matt Harmon. What talents. They were part of that 1995 state championship team, American Legion. We traveled to Oklahoma, fell a little bit short, but I'll always remember Matt and Jason. Quality people, and you did such a great job with that program. Also, it is football season, just about, 6 weeks. If you look on your placemat, you'll notice in 2002, my lovely wife, Diane, was the Estes Award, so I've got a great hand for her. And you also know she was the only woman in that group, so she's been my partner for many, many years. In fact, it'll be 50 coming up this Friday, so I love her. There are many individuals in communities such as Batesville, large cities, small towns that make significant contributions to their communities. These individuals are often anonymous or overlooked for a variety of reasons. Many don't want the credit and like to operate under the radar, and instead are content to pass on their skills and knowledge for the love of the game. These contributions are often immeasurable until you total the number of lives they have touched. Communities large and small are enriched many times over as these skills and knowledge that have been acquired by hard work as well as talent are passed on to the next generation. Our next recipient is one of those individuals with outstanding credentials as an accomplished sportsman who has gained national prominence and has imparted his achievements and success to many of the young people of Independence County. Self-discipline, the ability to focus, and to execute under pressure are just some of the traits required to become a top-flight archer. In competition, it's just you, your bow, your arrows, and your nerves as you attempt to hone in on a target that is perhaps 70 meters or 70 yards away. Success is measured in the ability to maintain this needed focus and skill to compete over an extended period of time. Our next recipient is an example of these very traits that has guided his foray into competitive archery, but also his life in general. Bill Luster was born in Poinsett County near Mark Tree, where as a young hunter he acquired his first bow by swapping his BB gun for a primitive bow with his best friend. So much for Bill's skill as a trader. He first started shooting rabbits and moved on to stumps and tin cans. Why he started with a fast, mobile, and agile prey to an immovable object is a mystery to me, but maybe he will enlighten us on that progression of targets. He became more proficient as an archer and was the first member of the Crowley's Ridge Bowman Club to win a state title. He has served as president of the Arkansas Field Archery Association and is a member of the Arkansas Field Archery Association 500 Club for shooting more than 500 points in a tournament with a 28 target field. Bill had the record for winning the Arkansas State Championship for 5 consecutive years, 1965 to 69. He held consecutive titles such as the Tri-State Tournament Championship, which included archers from Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas. He has been nationally ranked by placing in the National Field Championship, which is the Super Bowl of archery. His relationship with the legendary Ben Pearson of Pine Bluff inspired him to follow as the Arkansas State champion and became nationally ranked as Mr. Pearson not only encouraged Bill, but in some ways ramped up the pressure by providing him with some of his personal bows for competition. He retired shortly thereafter from competition in the late 60s. In 2017, he was brought out of retirement to lead the students of Susan Parker and the Eagle Mountain Elementary students to prominence as these proteges were nationally ranked from 2018 to 2021. It was this relationship, perhaps with young children and connecting the sport of archery to hundreds of Independence County kids, that was Bill Luster's greatest accomplishment and gift to this area. His wife is here, his son is here, and a whole bunch of relatives. They take over this whole side of the room, so too many to mention, but he's loved by his family, of course. Bill is now an avid golfer, but I must be candid, while he knows where his arrows are flying, his errant golf shorts are legendary for hooks, slices, and whiffs. Also, there is no truth into the rumor that after tonight's performance, the grand finale will include Bill shooting an apple off the top of my head. Unless that apple is as big as a pumpkin. In other words, we're not here for Bill's great golf exploits. We're here because of his exploits as a national archer, but more as a man of Independence County who gave back to his community. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Mr. Bill Luster.
I'm extremely honored to be the person that gets to hand this plaque to a true gentleman and a remarkable sportsman, Bill Luster.
I don't know what else I can say after Mark got through. I'll just give you a little background. I was born in Judd Hill, Poinsett County, got on the riverboat at Two Lot, went through the floodways, got off it at Mark Tree, and I've been heading west ever since, and that's as far as I've got. My oldest bow over here, I've traded a BB gun for it when I was 8 years old, and it's 73 years now. Wait a minute, that makes me. It does. And then the next bow was my anniversary bow, and I'm still married. Still married. 62 years old. That's right, she is. And I've got two bows over there. One that I went to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, came in 8th in the tournament there. Came back, won 2 state tournaments, I believe that's where it was, and was getting ready to go to Jackson, Mississippi to the national tournament. I lose count where they are. And I was practicing in the backyard, and a limb split on it. Well, that's not any good at all. I was like a gun without any bullets. So I called Pine Bluff and asked them, a friend of mine down there, I said, find me 3 bows of this weight within this range and this length, and I'll be down there to get them on the way to Jackson, Mississippi, not even getting to shoot it. So I got down there, and they had 3 laid out. Mr. Pearson come by, handed me a bow, and he said, son, if you can't win with this bow, you can't win. You think there wasn't any pressure put on that thing. Well, I went to Jackson, Mississippi and come in 6th. So that was pretty good. And they come back and won 2 or 3 more to make 5, whatever it was, with that same bow. Got to shoot it, very little practice ahead of time. So Mr. Pearson was a big man in my life and would be today if he was still alive. So that's about all I got to say. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Mr. Lester. For years, Mr. and Miss Lester were my neighbors, and I've missed them ever since they moved. Miss Lester coming by with her little dog Sparky. You get to talk to her every day. So great people, and well deserved. This next inductee, I'm going to get to be the presenter on. Remember back in 1997, we had the best catcher in the state of Arkansas at Batesville. His name was Lance Lambert. It's Mark and Diane's boy. Had a scholarship already to the University of, or Mississippi State University in Starksville. They call it Stark Vegas, I think. The best catcher in the state of Arkansas, except we had a bad experience in the fact that he received a torn labrum his junior year and was not going to be able to catch his senior year. Still went on and had a fantastic senior year for us and was actually voted the Arkansas Baseball Gatorade Player of the Year in the state his senior year. So, but we had all the makings of having the best team that we had ever had, except now we were missing a catcher. I kept thinking, who am I going to get to catch? Who am I going to get to catch? We've just lost the best catcher in the state of Arkansas. Say, God, please help me. And lo and behold, God works in mysterious ways, because all of a sudden, the best catcher in the state of Florida landed in Batesville, Arkansas. Chris Westervelt came to Batesville in the summer of 1997, played Legion baseball, had a great season. His dad had taken a management job, I think, at Medallion Foods in Newport. His parents, Kathy and Andy, looked at a few schools in the area for Chris and his sister Sarah to attend, including that was Newport, where his work was, Jonesboro, and Batesville. We were sure happy that in the long run he chose to bring his baseball talents to Batesville. Chris was a standout catcher for Batesville High School from 1998 to 2000. As a sophomore, Chris had 6 RBIs in the state championship game, as he not only helped the Pioneers win the 4A state title, but also the Pioneers earned the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette #1 ranking in the state for all classifications that year. He was named the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette Mr. Baseball for Player of the Year. To this date, the only sophomore to ever win that award in the history of the state of Arkansas. During his sophomore year, Chris had a .558 batting average. He hit 14 homers, had 62 RBIs. As a senior in 2000, he was also named the Arkansas Gatorade Player of the Year. During his career, Chris became the Pioneers' all-time leading home run hitter with 30. He was a 3-time All-State selection. 2 main things I do remember about Chris during his high school career. Some things become legendary in a kid's career. And when Chris was a junior, he suffered a back injury that really hampered him and hurt him when he had to torque during a swing right-handed. And so it was really bothering him. So in Chris Westervelt fashion, what did he do? He turned around and hit left-handed, although he was not a switch hitter. And still was one of the best hitters in the conference, left-handed for a lot of the year. Second story I like to think about Chris that I heard was when Chris was a senior, I had left and gone to Van Buren, but when I came back to Batesville, Coach Gary Rhodes used to love to tell this story that's legendary to me, in the fact that Chris Westervelt played his entire senior season at Batesville High School, and during that season, only twice did he ever swing and miss a pitch. He either fouled off or hit the ball fair on every swing but 2 in a 32-game season, which is remarkable. And Coach Rhodes tells me just something you can count that it's true. Of course, Chris was highly recruited out of high school, one of the best catchers not only in Arkansas but in the country, but it had already been planned where he was going to school. I don't think there was any doubt. He was going to Stetson University in DeLand, Florida. His grandfather, Dick Westervelt, had been the sports information director and broadcaster at Stetson for years. And the opportunity to be around his grandfather again on a daily basis outweighed any other possible offer that could be presented to him. So Chris goes on to attend Stetson University in DeLand, Florida. I remember we had the privilege of, our team came and watched Chris play one time all the way in DeLand, Florida. We were playing in a tournament at Cocoa Beach, Florida, and we just went over and watched him play. And so we were very fortunate to do that. And Chris was a two-time Atlantic Sun Conference Player of the Year, 2002, 2004. Now Stetson, this is a Division I baseball school, and a very good baseball school. He finished his career with a .350 batting average, 44 doubles, 35 home runs, and 135 RBI in 190 career games at Stetson. I think just recently, is Jason DeGrom not from Stetson also? I thought so. A fine major league player. During his two best seasons, Chris hit .403 in 2002, .385 in 2004, and he earned a total of 4 All-American awards. 2002, he was selected to the Collegiate Baseball Second Team and Baseball America Third Team All-American Team. In 2004, he was named All-American from the Collegiate Baseball and College Baseball Insider. Also a two-time All-Region selection, Chris helped Stetson to the NCAA Regionals in 2001, 2002, 2003, and the Hatters won a total of 160 games during his 4 seasons. His career batting average ranks 10th in school history, while he also ranks 7th in slugging percentage and 4th in home runs. In the classroom, Chris also starred as a two-time first-team academic All-American in 2002, 2004. His jersey number is retired by Stetson University. At the time, he was only the second Stetson player to be inducted into the Atlantic Sun Conference Sports Hall of Fame. Chris was drafted in the 11th round by the Los Angeles Dodgers in 2004, where he played 3 seasons. As an Ogden Raptor in his first professional season, Chris hit .341 with 12 doubles, 10 home runs, and 37 RBIs in 49 games. After his baseball career ended, Chris went on to get his MBA from Stetson University and is currently Solution Architect Director for Granicus Incorporated in Lake Mary, Florida. He and his wife Katie have 2 wonderful boys, Jack and Joey. It's with great honor that I tonight present to you Mr. Chris Westervelt, an inductee into the 2022 class of the Independence County Area Sports Hall of Fame.
Okay, I've never had the honor to hand a plaque to a Mr. Baseball, but tonight I do. Chris Westervelt.
Let me get my notes here. I see pictures like this, and that's why I talk about, how long ago did you play baseball? I don't talk in years, I talk in pounds. Thank you, Coach Smith and the Hall of Fame committee. Really happy to be here tonight. Ever since I got the call from Coach about this honor, I've been excited about the opportunity to give thanks to the community and the people that I believe had a big impact on my life, and not just baseball. I've had a couple of opportunities to, as Coach was just talking about, to thank those in my life for, and be awarded accomplishments and things, and I've cried my eyes out every time. So let's see if I can keep it together tonight. Coach Smith, again, thanks for the kind words. Moving here my sophomore year in high school from Florida was a pretty big shock, culture shock, and could have been a hard transition for anybody. Coach Smith was one of those people that very much helped me through that. I can remember the first time I met Coach Smith. One of my friends walked me into Coach's history class, first day of school. And, here's the baseball coach, new baseball player, introduce each other, talk to each other. Coach looks me up and down. The first thing he asks is what position I play in football. The answer was I don't play football, which was a shock because everybody around here plays multiple sports. Wasn't so much the case in Florida. One thing I think we saw tonight was Coach Smith's storytelling ability there for a little while. I think that was one of the most fun things I had as part of that process. Was I can't tell you how many practices or how many games everyone stayed late and Coach was just telling baseball stories, and it was a pretty good time typically. Obviously a master motivator and taught me how to hold the rope, right? Again, when I found out we were moving from Orlando, Florida to Batesville, Arkansas as a 15-year-old boy, big changes were coming, fear of the unknown. But my earliest days here, I think, can sum up the welcome I felt. That first summer, we hadn't moved here yet, and I was living in the Ramada Inn, north of town here. Dad had already taken the job, and my mom and sister were still selling the house in Florida, but I was living in the Ramada Inn because I was playing Legion Ball in Babe Ruth League that summer. So 15-year-old, no car, brand new to a town, not a lot to do, and Dad's driving to Newport to work every day. So it was great though. Had some friends that I had met obviously through the team, and ended up picking me up every single day from the hotel to give me something to do on days we didn't have practice. I didn't even plan on talking about this, but it makes me think of Legion Ball and how hot it is here. I mean, typical couple days here, but we were talking earlier today, and I can't imagine my folks and everybody going out to watch doubleheaders in Legion and 102 in Arkansas. I couldn't even make it across the parking lot without starting to sweat, so I'm not sure how we managed. That summer was great. I was the new kid, had a pretty good summer, and as Coach was just talking, we had a pretty special season, that first season at Batesville. I look back on that team, and I played on a lot of really good baseball teams over the years. Whether it was in youth baseball, we won the Babe Ruth League World Series when I was 13, state tournaments come here, and I can say even after playing at all different levels of baseball, that team was probably the most dominant team amongst its group, right? Compared to everybody else we were playing on, 34-3 or something, and that was a wild year, and it couldn't have put an exclamation point better, I think, on a new year and a new place. So I think the fondest of memories for that time. Obviously baseball was going pretty good, having a good time with that. But again, moving here, the community itself and the friends I made and the families that are here, and to echo what Arlonzo was saying, you look out on the crowd here, you see lots of friends and families that made a big impact on your life. And so it's, I can say Batesville's a special community, and I'm definitely honored to have been here. I only lived in Batesville for 3 years. My folks and family lived here for much longer after that, and I was always here for holidays and came here all the time. But, only 3 years out of my 40 years here, and if someone were to ask me, what's your hometown, I still say Batesville. It's just, that's what comes out of my mouth. Last and certainly not least, family. My dad Andy and my stepmom Pam are here. We lost my mom about 12 years ago to cancer. She was my biggest fan. So having sons of my own now, I can only better appreciate the sacrifice people make to put you where you are. You think the countless hours of batting practice and long toss and catch and all those things, and you don't appreciate them as a 15, 16, 17-year-old. But my dad coming home from work and going out to the field to do that for hours afterwards. You can, again, definitely better appreciate it later in life. My sister Sarah's here. She, grew up as the sister that had to follow Chris around everywhere to every baseball game, which can be tough. And I know Coach Smith likes to tell the story of the first time he met my sister, which was Sarah runs up to him and says, "You know who I am? I'm Chris's sister." So I think, I'm as proud of her and her accomplishments as she is of mine. So thank you for being here today. I met my wife, Katie, while I was in grad school. And she was the first kind of, I guess, important person in my life that didn't know me as a baseball player. So she'd never seen me play a game, and I was lucky that we found each other and I was able to channel passion that I had for baseball into my personal life. Thank her enough, and you know, I lose big. Mark, you blew me out of the water. You give a 50th wedding anniversary. Our 10 years this month, so thanks for that. My Uncle Randy's here too. He spent countless hours at games watching me play as well. And lastly, there's two little rugrats back there that have been a pain to everybody, I'm sure, the whole time. Look forward to watching you grow into young men. I guess lastly here, there's a saying that says, I wish there was a way to know that you were in the good old days before you've left them. Well, my time in Batesville was definitely the good old days. So thanks, everybody. Good night.
Congratulations, Chris. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Spencer Reeves up, where he will induct or present his mother, Nicole Wilkett, into the Independence County Area Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you, sir. All right. Okay, I hope y'all can hear me good enough. First of all, congrats to everybody that's been inducted so far. Any Hall of Fame is a big deal, so just want to say congrats first off. I went back and forth today, saying Nicole Wilkett's being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and sitting there like, that's weird for me because I've never called her Nicole in my entire life. So it's mom to me. So I'm gonna do my best to go Nicole Wilkett tonight for her night, so everybody knows her by name. But to start off with a story of her, I guess her story started in Self Rock, Arkansas, a long time ago, and my mother-in-law, I guess back in the day, played against her in high school. And the first thing she said was, I was like, how was it? She was like, we walked in the gym and we were so scared. Like a 6-foot woman that ran the floor super fast, having all this college interest, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that's what you thought about when it came to a game? She's like, yeah, we were terrified. We're all 5'6", and she's like 6 foot. So that's the biggest thing when it came for Self Rock High School. After that, she was able to make a transition to North Ark Community College in Harrison. And, I think I was about 10 to 12 years old when I found out that she led the nation in scoring at JUCO in North Ark. And I'm going like, I don't know what that means. Like 32 points a game, like that's awesome. I knew that. And come to find out when I got in college, I knew how actually impressive that was. Like that doesn't happen every single day. Averaging 30 points in any level is a big accomplishment. She was an All-American there. She's in the Hall of Fame there. After that, she was able to go to Arkansas State, was the Lady Indians at the time. Now it's the Red Wolves, where she had a 2-year career coming out of JUCO. She's the only person on that list of top 20 scorers of all time to do it in 2 years. And I think there's only one other girl on the list that did it in only 3. The rest were 4. So she's 17th in all-time points. So that's impressive. She averaged in her 2 years there 19 points per game, which is second all-time of career averages. After that, I've had plenty of people ask me, why didn't you go play in the WNBA? That wasn't a thing at the time. And another thing is they said, well, why didn't you go, with the overseas experience? I like to always joke and say that she decided, she wanted to start a family. And maybe Austin can attest to this too, is she wanted to become a crazy sports mom. And a little bit of joking, a little bit of not. But I think I can really say that, me and him are both appreciative of how she was and how much she pushed us and how competitive she was, because I don't think we'd be where we are today, without her. So I guess it's the last inductee of the night. My mom, Nicole Wilkett.
I am honored to present this trophy, this plaque, and I'm going on a limb here, to perhaps, no doubt, the best female basketball player, top 2 or 3, and many of us argue the best basketball player in the history of Independence County, Nicole Wilkett.
Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. Aren't they sweet? They're usually not this sweet, really. They're putting on a show tonight, hey. But thank you, Spencer. Get my notes here. Okay, good evening. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my family and friends for always encouraging me and supporting me along my journeys. And I'd like to thank the Independence County Area Sports Hall of Fame members for all their hard work in putting this together tonight and each year, recognizing individuals in our communities. Also, congratulations to all of this year's inductees and to this year's recipient of the Estes Award. Congratulations. Since I can remember, it's been sports. My older siblings, which the one closest in age is 6 years older than me, they all played sports. So being that bratty little sister that I was, whatever they liked, I liked. Their favorite team was my favorite team. Their favorite music was my favorite music, even though it probably shouldn't have been, it was. They played basketball, so I was going to play basketball too, and it ended up being the sport that I loved. First part of my basketball career all took place at Sulphur Rock. Played Pee Wee ball there through 12th grade. And I remember one Pee Wee game. According to Spencer, that was a long, long time ago. But we won the game, and I was the high scorer for the first time, and boy, I was really excited. And when my dad was still alive, he would bring this game up from time to time because he thought it was so funny that the final score was 2-0, and I had that one bucket. He thought it was cool, and I was happy. Much of my junior high through high school was a Sulphur Rock-Newark rivalry. Sometimes it got mean, sometimes it wasn't. But one thing, it was always competitive. I'm thankful for my school, all of my coaches, great teachers, and friends made along the way. Then it was time to move on, and I chose to go to North Arkansas Community College in Harrison. I thought this was a good choice for me because it was a small school atmosphere that I was always used to. But I remember the first day of practice, and all these girls were good, all of them. So this made me have to work harder and harder because I didn't like someone being better than me. Not saying that they weren't, but this gave me the drive to work super hard every day to better myself. We won a lot of games and learned a lot of lessons, good and bad. I met my best friend for life there, Janet DeVore Carter. She's here tonight with her family, along with my mom, my fiance Keith, and my 2 boys, Spencer and his wife Casey, and Austin with his girlfriend Jenna. Thanks, guys, for being here. After North Ark, it was time to move on, and ASU was my landing spot. A little different atmosphere there. You could walk across campus all day, not see anyone that you knew, didn't have anyone to talk to. It was very different. And then the competition in the Convocation Center was intense. It was time to work even harder and harder every day. I remember being so sore in preseason that just getting out of bed was brutal. We traveled a lot. Keeping our schoolwork up was hard but mandatory. And those 6 to 8 hour layovers in the airport were crazy. Probably most of all, missing holidays at home was hard. We usually got McDonald's or Burger King for Thanksgiving. But I wouldn't change any of that for the world. The life experiences were amazing and made me grow as a person. The competition didn't end after college. Having two sports-minded, very competitive boys kept that alive. When they were young, it was normal for me to walk out on our outside basketball court in my pink robe and my fuzzy house shoes, and I'd beat them in a game of horse, and I'd walk away, I'd be cheering, I won, and they'd just stand there and watch me. They probably don't remember it that way, but that's a true story. True story, guys. Admit it, I was that mom, times 10. After they started growing, becoming more physical, and winning, they started beating me all the time, I decided it was time to be the spectator and their biggest fan, which I still am today. So as I stand here tonight, I do feel very honored to be chosen as one of this year's inductees into the Sports Hall of Fame. It's been a great night, and thanks for everyone who come out and supported us, and thank you for everything. Appreciate it. Thank you for the flowers.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great night. And congratulations once again to all our inductees tonight, their families, their friends. Thank you all for coming out and supporting them. Hope to be back here again next year. So, as my old buddy once said, thanks for your time this time. Till next time, so long. What I would like is for all the inductees and their presenters to please come up front tonight for pictures, if you don't mind. Also, if anybody would like to have a laminated copy or would like to take more laminated copies with them, some of you have one already, some of you don't, but if you'd like to have more, we have some more in the box here. Feel free to come in and take one or more.